Hey there. So, did you know that what you see in me exists in you? What I see in you exists in me? If you didn't know that and you're just hearing it for the first time, can you try it on? Try it on as an experiment. The reason why a lot of people wouldn't want to try this on is because it would require someone to take responsibility for what they see, to own the things they see in others as their own. And that might also require them to humble themselves, a part of their ego who's actually been operating in such a manner to protect them from feeling certain things, especially if what they're seeing in others is something that was shamed. That was taught to be shamed to them by their operating system that was downloaded into them growing up. And it's understandable that it would be a difficult thing to just try on. But I believe it's a worthwhile experiment, because if you don't believe it's true, then you will always stay stuck in the same loops, the same conditioning. If you're not able to really look at yourself, then you're literally just repeating the same things over and over again, because the reason you're in that loop is so you can learn from it. If you're not even willing to look at the loop, if you're not even willing to dissect it and look at it from another side or question it, then how will you ever get out of it? So acknowledgement is the first step to any freedom that we're going to gain for ourselves. And I understand that that is not always possible, it's not always accessible, and I've mentioned some of the reasons why that is. So it's okay. But if you are well aware of this, if you're well aware of this and you're watching this, then this is in your reality for a reason. What is the reason? Have you asked yourself that? Why are you watching? What brought you here? What brings you back? If you're someone who's returning, what can you learn from this? Do you see something you like? Do you see something you don't like? If you see something you like about me and my presentation, can you find it in you? If you see something you don't like about me and my presentation, can you find the judgment that lives in you for that thing? Where did it come from? Why is it there? What experience shaped it for you? What would happen if you were that thing? What would be so bad about it? There are lots of questions we can ask ourselves to kind of play on the jungle gym of the issue and look at it from different angles and balance out the energy. Because when we can balance out the energy, meaning not having a charge for or against it any longer, because we've seen a bigger picture view, then we can live above it. Then we can utilize that energy if we want to as a choice we make. Some energies we won't ever want to revisit once we have come above them. Maybe that's what we learn from it, right? Is that we don't need to play that way. We don't need to keep experiencing that. But if it is in the reality and you're not already in that state of detached ability to observe with compassion, because if you've worked through something, say you had a judgment against me and you found it in you and you released it. Now you're no longer judging you for it. You're no longer judging me for it. You're balanced in the energy. And now when you see it again in someone else or in me, you're going to automatically have compassion, because compassion is born from the understanding you gained when you were willing to question and neutralize the energy. So now whenever you see that particular issue, you have compassion. You can stay detached, and you can also understand, since you had something to learn from the experience, very likely the other person experiencing it does too. Doesn't mean you don't help them if they need help and they're asking for help. If it's in front of you to assist somebody, by all means. But otherwise, if it's something that you're watching from afar and you don't have a way to help a situation, you can hold space energetically, knowing that you found your way out, it can be neutralized, and they can find their way out too, if and when they're meant to. Whatever's in the highest good of all. Meaning you don't want to rush them out of it before they've learned what they needed to learn from it, right? Because you know that everything you learned was valuable. So, as I'm going through life, this is how I'm kind of navigating, right? And I'm getting even more responsible for what I see in my reality. Even more responsible, right? Because definitely lately, I've found places where, I was tending to see somebody using sarcasm in some comments that I read, and just kind of being like, well, that's pretty sarcastic. Like, you seem a little jaded. And then I went, oh, okay, that's kind of said with a disapproving tone, so let me look back in myself. Yeah, I still might not feel great about sarcasm. I think it's an ineffective way to achieve what we're trying to achieve. But it's also true that somebody else might not have another way to achieve what they're trying to achieve, whether it be self-expression or expressing their disapproval. And they are allowed to do that. And I can sit with and be with the part of me that feels like somebody who was sarcastic to me could have used a nicer way to communicate with me. Someone who was trying to demean me with their tone and words maybe didn't have the other tools that they might have needed to actually express directly to me what they were feeling. Someone who was trying to lower me down a peg so that they didn't feel so inferior in the moment. Maybe they just needed that. They needed to feel like they were secure and they were more powerful in that moment. And it wasn't personal. So I'm welcoming back in those times that I may have taken it personal. And now that I know myself, know my confidence, and know who I am, my value is not demeaned by someone using that form of expression to me or in front of me. It simply depicts to me that there's an immature way of expressing being shown to me. Where am I immature in my expressions? I was immature in my expressions when I felt disapproval for the other person's method of expression. So I've now just matured myself by being present with the way I feel and making it okay and understandable. That even though I don't want to choose that method of expression, that there are reasons other people do choose it, and it's not wrong for them to do so, and it's not personal for me, so I don't have to have any feelings about it either way. I can observe it and have compassion for someone who may or may not be lacking for another way to express themselves or achieve what they're trying to achieve, which may be equilibrium in how they feel or some sort of significance. Maybe that was stripped of them at some earlier time in life, and this is the method that they've been able to adapt to feel some semblance of that for themselves. I wouldn't want to deny them that. What if that's the last thing they need to keep themselves going every day? Until they find something that works better for them, I want them to have that. So you see now, both things are true for me now. That I think there's a better way and I don't choose it. But I also see that for some people there may not be a better way. And that it's appropriate for them to choose it. I want them to choose it. Both things are true. So I've neutralized this energy. And now when I see somebody using sarcasm, I'm not going to have that same reaction of disgust. I'm going to go, oh, yeah, they're just, maybe they're surviving. I'm glad they're surviving. And compassion for whatever situation brought them to that way of expressing themselves. So what a beautiful reflection. I really love using the things that I see to dissect what's in me. And there's also a part of me that felt like, okay, I'm done doing this now. But now I see that there's an even more subtle, more intricate, more another layer of how I can use that method to really neutralize some of the other things going on, because I think that I probably opted out of repeatedly seeing certain things instead of neutralizing the energy, because I just wanted to start living creatively. But it was just kind of brought back to my awareness that no, that is a reflection of my reality that I've created, and I've created it for a reason. And if I just don't want to look at it, there's a reason for that. So what is it? And that creates more freedom for me to be creative with. More space for me to be who I am and not activated in some program, right? Because I was a program running, a program of a judgment that I had lodged in me, saying I don't want to operate with sarcasm. And of course, I've healed many other layers of sarcasm before, of my judgment against sarcasm, but I still had more layers, like sometimes you pop back into another time where it was lodged in you, and it's like you loosen it from there too. It's like, this is like I've been alive for 46 years. Is it 47 now? Oh my gosh, is it 47 years? I might have just turned 47. Did I? Shit. Something like that. Wow, it's hard to believe that I'm that's like almost 50. Wow. Cool. But in actuality, I'm going to live a lot longer than this, so, I don't feel like my life's half over or anything. Not by any means. So, cool. I mean, I don't feel like 50, But, it's 47 years of programming, of experiences that have lodged opinions and judgments in me before I knew that that's what was happening. So those are still coming to light, and they're bound to, right? What else would anchor me here? Those things. But there's a lot more space for me to also do the things that I want to do with creation, and so I'm really thankful for that. I love that I have the freedom to create what my heart kind of prompts me to. And I really like gifting my creations. I was just thinking about how happy somebody was to receive a gift that I had made them recently. And it felt really nice. You know, I didn't expect them to, because I give without expectation. I didn't know that they would be so happy. And it was a nice feeling. So I am inspired to make some more things, and maybe I'll give them away and maybe not. I really like them, so I might just keep some of them. But what I'm making lately is some macrame holders for my crystals. Kind of just like putting different colored crystals in a row of macrame. I have one in my shower, which is probably why I was thinking about it too, because I was in my shower. And I have like what I call it, a shower talker, and it's all the 7 chakra colors hanging from the shower head. And different colored crystals. And I've had it in the shower for years now. But I just redid the macrame on it. It used to be done in black hemp, and now I redid it in the white color. And I've been doing a lot of white in my house, and I'm really excited about it. Ooh, and I got myself an action camera. I'm excited. So I don't know. I didn't know I was going to do it, and then I just got the prompt to do it, and I did it. And it's on its way. And so I will probably be expanding this channel to include some vlogging, which was always my intention, but I had just never done it. So I think I will do it, and we'll see what adventures we go on. Because I'm not really alone when I go out there if I bring you, right? Let's see what the reflection out there has to offer me for things to learn and enjoy in my day-to-day. What have you been learning about your reflection?